Let's try this again.
Take
Let's try this
two.
again. So, here's what happened. Welcome to Sunday at 7. I'm Brandy Shampoo. This is my daughter Samantha
Hello.
of Exploring Expression. And welcome again, once again, to Sunday at 7. Um, Let me tell you what I've discovered, and this has happened to me. I
Yeah.
think about it every time, and I write it on my little notepad that says, "Remember to
Did
do
you read
this,"
it? Yeah.
and I don't. So when you go live on Facebook, it defaults to only me, and you have to actually set it to public. So several times over the last probably month, I've started doing Facebook Live, and I started doing my Sunday at 7, and I went, "Oh, nobody can see this." So let's try this again. Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends, to Sunday at 7. I hope your week has been fantastic. I hope your week has been fantastic. And mine has been full. It's been full and full of love and full of energy and full of stuff. Like, full of stuff. Um, the smallest boy was in the Nutcracker at the Florida Ballet this weekend. And so my parents came down and my daughter came up. And we just had a fabulous time. As you can see, we're in a new location because we are moving furniture. Um, we're moving furniture in the other room. And so for today, we are in the book space, aka the dining room. So we're going to be talking about educational stocking stuffers. Who doesn't love stockings? It's the first thing I know on Christmas morning. That's the first thing my kids run to because it's the only thing they can touch.
We do stockings, and then we do breakfast, and then we open the rest of the presents.
Yes. And that is what keeps, especially the boys, that is what keeps the boys going while I and now Samantha get some coffee or juice or
Adult
something to wake up. Something to wake up on Christmas morning because the boys get up at like 4 in the morning.
I
So,
remember one year when they woke up at 3, and they woke everyone up,
yes.
and we were done by like 5 or 6.
And then we got to go back and sleep. So, we're going through some of our favorite educational stocking stuffers, and then I'm going to talk about how to make whatever happens to be in your stocking or your child's stocking educational, right? So, first we'll talk about some of my favorites. Second, we'll talk about how to bring education into your stocking stuffer, whatever it is. And then the third thing is I'll talk very, very briefly about what I'm going to talk about next week. So next week is going to be the last one of this season, and then I'm going to take a couple weeks off, and we'll be back in January. So, are you ready? Let's try this again. I am a book lady. As you can see, this is only a minute part of our book collection. And these books, especially for younger children, these books are fabulous and fit perfectly in a stocking, and they're cheap. So, one thing you don't want to do at Christmas time is overextend yourself. You don't want to and I spoke about this last week. You don't want to head into January behind. Um, you don't want to because that gives you anxiety and depression and angst, right? And part of keeping that at bay is staying within your means. And these books are cheap and they're fantastic. They're interesting. We have a ton of them.
There's so many.
In fact, we're going to talk more about this next week when I talk about the spring. So stay tuned for that. The next thing, we love games. And if you follow us on Instagram and follow us on YouTube, you'll see we play a lot of games. We play a lot of board games and card games and acting games and costume games and all sorts of things. And so the little games like flipping flags is one of our favorites. It's hilarious. And what is this?
Chemistry Flux?
Chemistry. I don't think you've played this one yet.
I haven't played either one of these.
I got these since... So Samantha's in college, and I've got these since she went off to college. But the boys and I play these a lot. They're educational. They're fun. We've learned so much. We combine this Chemistry Flux with this molecule set, and it's absolutely fantastic. And games like this and any sort of card games are perfect size to go into the stocking. And again, they're not incredibly expensive. I think this one was less than $10. I don't remember how much I paid for this one. But they're plentiful and they're small, and There's so much. Even if you just get a deck of cards, right?
It's only what, like 99 cents?
Well, the super cheap ones, and they come in thousands of varieties, decks of cards, but you can play so many games with a deck of cards. So many games. In fact,
I remember going on a road trip and we had bought a deck of cards, and I was sitting up front and Dana was sitting in the back, and we were playing Go Fish from the front seat to the back seat.
yes. And we've done a YouTube video maybe or something where we talked about, we played Go Fish using Spanish. And we had to ask each other the different colors, because there's colors and size fish,
I remember that
in
game.
Spanish and answer in Spanish, right? So other things we do a lot of arts and crafts. So these little paint things, which depending on where you go are anywhere from like 50 cents to $2, fit perfectly inside a stocking. Play-Doh and clay.
Which I know at Michael's, Play-Doh's only like 50 cents. Like
Oh, is
the
it?
single things of Play-Doh, 50 cents to $1.
Fit perfect. And so much of what we do, we are crafters. We love to craft. If you saw the thing on that we did on our dragon study, where we made the little dragons with clay and made the eggs, we do a lot of that with Play-Doh and with crafting. Shapes and fractions, we use Play-Doh, right? We make it and then we divide it and we make pizza. All of these things, and these are perfectly sized. You know, put some paint and some brushes, and have at it. Or put some Play-Doh, and you don't need the whole kit. Put some Play-Doh and go to the Dollar Tree and get you some of those plastic knives, right? Especially for the smaller kids. Hours and hours and hours, and you can learn so much. Stay tuned, because next January, and we'll talk about this more next week, so you're going to want to come back, we're going to be making something truly interesting out of Play-Doh. You're going to want to see that. And when we talk about paints, you can get a lot of these little things. Now, not this one. This one is ceramic. But they also come in wood. And you can get them at Walmart. You can get them at Michael's. You can get them at any sort of crafting stores. And
Lambs.
combine a bunch of these with some paints. Hours and hours and hours of educational fun. Because each one of these, the idea behind a learning lifestyle is to make something more than what it is, right? Because that's what we are. That's what our children are. We are more than what we are. It's time to step into our best expression so that we can help our children step into theirs. And it's by learning that an item is more than what it is, can be more than what it is. And that what you have in your stocking, for example, a staple in our stockings, you ready? This is probably not going to surprise you. Chocolate and candy.
Well, for the smallish boy's stocking, anyway.
And mine.
That is, yeah.
I'm just going to say.
That is, I always get you chocolate.
Yes. Chocolate and candy. Now, how is that educational, you ask? How is that educational? We use it as currency. We play a lot of poker. I mean, you know what? We've talked about this before. I've discussed many times my idea of the educational value of casino games. Just the math and the logic inherent in those sorts of games.
Not to mention the learning the value of money.
Learning the value of money and learning that your decisions have consequences. You know, educational isn't just math, English, science. Especially my older son is autistic and has special needs. And so a lot of what we do from a homeschool perspective is less book work and more life work. Less book work and more life work. And one of the things that we really try to hammer is that your decisions have consequences. And I'm going to tell you, playing cards and playing poker and playing games, especially these logic games, go so far. And those are things that are small and can fit in your stuff. Put a card deck, right? Put a deck of cards. Put some chocolate coins. Put some Hershey's Kisses. I'm telling you. The chocolate coins are worth $1. The Hershey's Kisses are worth $5. Now we don't say dollars, we don't say cents, we say 1 and 5. That's and teaches them trading back and forth. It teaches them the value of things. It teaches them that if I can think and make decisions. It teaches my older son who has autism to help him read people, to help him read expressions, right? Because that's important. Combine it with a few books, and you've got an entire unit study. You've got an entire unit study in your stocking waiting for you come December 26th or January 1st or whenever you start back to school, if you pause. All in your stocking. Add in some Play-Doh, add in some art supplies, or maybe, we love these.
Those are a little expensive. These are the more expensive kind, but they have a lot cheaper at Michael's, at Walmart, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, whatever your favorite craft store is.
I've talked a lot about our use of color. We do coloring a lot. We use color to help you with math. We underline the math places in color. Put some art supplies. Put some Play-Doh. Put a deck of cards or some of these card games. Include a book, especially the biographies. I'm a big fan of biographies. I'll talk about that another time. And you've got a ready-made unit study waiting for you that's fun, that your children are engaged in, right? You don't have to go out and get Lego models of the White House, which is what that is. Now you can, and that was amazing, and we love doing that. I'm just saying, we love Legos here. However, what you have is already educational. Use this time. Use the stocking. Use the things inherent. You know, we're going to be doing some baking. We're going to be doing some Christmas baking. It's close to my heart. It's close to hers.
It's very close to my heart.
We're closer to Nailed It baking than we are to Cake Boss baking. I'm just going to say. However, there is so much learning inherent in cooking.
Yes.
So much learning.
Chemistry, math, sharing,
measuring, art.
Oh, yes.
And mess. Because learning is messy, and messy is fun. We should coin that.
That was good. Wow.
Sometimes I say things that are art. Learning is messy, and messy is fun. Right? And it's Christmas time. Enjoy it. Learning does not, this is what we say all the time, it does not have to be hard and it does not have to be boring if you make it a part of your lifestyle. If you make it a part of your lifestyle. Fill your stocking. Fill your child's stocking. Fill your spouse's stocking. Fill your parents' stocking. Whoever's stocking you're filling with a little bit of learning. Right? And so I can't think of a better way to end that topic. I think that was great.
That was good.
Next week you're going to want to be here. As I said, we have one more week that we're going to do, and then we're going to take a hiatus for 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year's because we're going to be doing some traveling. And in the spring, we're going to start documenting our traveling on here. We may do a little over Christmas, but it's not going to be a lot because where we're going has terrible Wi-Fi. Terrible. It's just terrible. So, but next week we are going to be talking about how I am planning and what I am planning for the spring semester.
Especially
for
now
our
that I'm gonna
homeschool.
be here.
Yes. Georgia State is still closed, so Samantha will be here to help in the spring for the spring semester, and we're going to be doing some fantastic things. I have planned some fantastic learning opportunities, and you're going to want to hear about those because I think whatever you're learning, you're going to be able to take something away from that and apply it to what you're doing now so that you can do more. So stay tuned next week. Come back and join us. Share this, save this, Hit like, hit subscribe, all of those things that you do on social media to show that you love people, because we want to connect with you. And until next week, we'll see you later.